Hi, it's Rhiannon from the Epsom Bakehouse. It's Real Bread Week at the moment, and that's a week where we celebrate baking or enjoying bread that's made only with flour, water, salt and yeast. If you've been baking some great bread this weekend, or even enjoying it, do let me know in the comments. I always love to hear about what you've been baking at home. I know you've all got busy lives and perhaps you haven't managed to bake some bread so far, but do follow along this week because I'll be sharing some of my top tips each day for how to bake great bread at home, and they'll all be live here as videos here on my Epsom Bakehouse Facebook page and probably elsewhere on social media. If you do have any questions about baking your own bread as well, just pop them in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. I thought I'd come on today and talk a little bit more about why you should bake your own bread at home. And I know that there are plenty of valid reasons why that might not happen. You don't have time, you've never tried before, and you haven't quite got the recipe that you want to bake yet. Or maybe you did try once before and it turned out like a brick and you're not quite sure why. I'm certainly not here to tell you how to change the habits of a busy lifestyle. We're certainly all busy and it's easy enough to buy a loaf of bread from the supermarket, and I certainly don't suggest you shouldn't do that. But I also think there's some great reasons why you should bake bread at home once in a while if you can. And I'll talk about that today. First of all, the first great reason would be that the sense of achievement you get. There's always a wow moment in all of my bread making classes. And that's when the loaf, freshly baked, is pulled from the oven and all the students gather around to see their bread and breathe in the wonderful aroma that's coming out of the oven. And they can't wait to slice in and taste their loaves. And you'll certainly get that sense of achievement once you bake a great loaf of bread. Not only will you be able to enjoy it, but if you want, you can share it with your family and friends, and they'll probably be suitably impressed as well. Another great reason to bake bread, and I always believe this, is that it definitely can fit around a busy lifestyle. Don't be too worried about rigidly following recipes. I can certainly give you some tips to fit bread making around your lifestyle. For example, leaving your dough for as long as possible to prove while you go on and get on with everything else that you need to do. Plus, you can always introduce factors like proving in the fridge overnight. It just slows everything right down, and you can come back in the morning and carry on where you left off. Another reason to bake bread at home once in a while is that with practice, it will get easier. I bet you can't remember a time when perhaps you couldn't read or you couldn't ride a bike. But once you started those, and with practice, you've quickly learned how to do them. That's the same with anything in life, and especially with bread making. Soon you'll find a recipe that you're really comfortable with, and you can bake that bread without a moment's thought, and without much planning either. Another great reason to bake bread at home is that you'll get great flavour for a fraction of the cost. Once you've practiced a simple recipe, you'll find that you can turn simple, relatively inexpensive ingredients into a wonderful loaf of bread that you can share at home. And with the addition of other simple ingredients such as nuts, dried fruit, grated cheese, or seeds, you'll soon be turning out a whole range of breads and rolls that you can wow your friends and family with. Lastly, another great reason to bake bread at home is that it can actually be quite relaxing and therapeutic. There's nothing much else you can do when your hands are covered in sticky dough than to stand there and just knead the bread. You might be listening to some favourite music or just enjoying 5 minutes of peace and quiet. If you'd like to know more about learning to bake great bread at home during Real Bread Week or beyond, you can sign up for my regular newsletter where I send out hints, tips and recipes about bread making and other news from the Epsom Bakehouse. The link is in the comments below. Do sign up, and to get you started you'll get 5 top video tips straight to your email, 1 a day. You'll also be the first to hear about my exciting announcement later this week in Real Bread Week. Stay tuned for more videos this week where I'll be sharing more bread making tips during Real Bread Week. I hope you enjoy, and do let me know if you get baking bread. Bye for now.